Welcome back. In this video, we're going to focus on the navigation of vendors file. Of course, these are basic videos and we will drill into more details later on, but it definitely allows you to navigate around Sage 50 and discover different pieces of it. So let's go to Sage 50. On Sage 50, we are still in the same situation for the snow company. It has 3 vendors. Vendors could be selling equipment to the company, which then they will create snowblowers and shovels and then sell it to their customers. So how does the company pay these suppliers, which we call the payables? In order to go to the payables or the suppliers, you go to the left and click payables. You will be able to see different suppliers as well as different options. So just like in the customer file, let's verify the addresses and the information of our 3 main suppliers. There are a couple of ways to click on. You can either click directly on the name of the supplier, which is PCA Corporation, and you will get to the payables ledger, which is a place where each company will have their own separate file. We can take a look at the addresses and see if they confirm. Terry White, 90 Drift Boulevard, Alberta. We also have the website. Most of the information is okay. Now we have a little bit of extra information to look at, which is the options, tax, and accounts. Where goes these tabs? So let's take a look at options. In terms of option, it is telling you that the early term payments will be 2% if you pay within 15 days. So that means for the supplier, if the company is able to pay within 15 days, they will receive 2% discount, which is usually denoted as 2/15. And the net amount, however, is due in 30 days. So this information is accurate. Now let's click on the Taxes tab to take a look at the taxes. It's written that the code for the taxes is G, and finally the supplier. The supplier has been with us since April 1st, 2014. Feel free to navigate all the other tabs. For example, there's information on how to directly deposit the money if there's a branch, institution, or account, memos, any type of import, additional information, and the T4 slips. Once this is done, you click Save and Close. You can do the exact same thing for the other 2 companies, Shovels Inc., Winter Equipment. In order to view the suppliers in a different way, you can go to Setup Guide, then click on Suppliers, and you should be able to see an easy to edit format where you can click and change the information. Just like the customer, the supplier has a red star. You only need to enter the name and the rest you can fill it up later. In order to verify, instead of clicking one by one, you can verify the addresses all together. For Shovels Inc., we have 45 Coldstream, Winter Equipment, you have Buffalo, New York. The only issue is that I cannot change the tax. I cannot verify the tax information. Therefore, I will click on the name and I'm going to edit supplier. Now I am back to the payables ledger, and I will make sure that the information for the tax code is correct. It's G, and there is a net 15 days, therefore no discount for previous payments. And everything seems fine. Once this is done, simply click Close, and we're going back to our report center. You can also look at a list of purchase invoices. Therefore, you can find invoice from February 1st to February 15th. And you will see that there are 3 invoices in February, starting from February 2nd. We can click on them and you will be able to see the full invoice information. Within the invoice information, you will have an automated invoice number that has been set up from the company's setting, the information, any type of item, any type of purchases, and the amounts. Okay. Now let's try and create our own information or our own invoice. In order to create an invoice, you go to Purchase, Invoice, Create Invoice. You are now at creating the invoice. You can have pay later, cash, check, any type of payment. Simply choose a supplier. If you don't find a supplier, click Add. So we'll go to Winter Ink. With the information, the invoice number can follow anything that they're looking for. And here, in order to choose an item number, you will have to go into the inventory. So there's an inventory lookup. This is specifically the inventory that the company, and you can therefore click on snowblower. This means the company is purchasing a snowblower from Winter Equipment Inc. at a price of $513 USA. You can enter the quantity. I will click on 2. Therefore, the taxes are being calculated, and you will see that the amounts are here. Once this is done, simply click on Post, and it will be registered. Now let's take a look at the Report Center for the suppliers. Simply click on Report Center, and you have a list of different types of report that you can generate. In this case, let's take a look at Supplier Purchase Summary. If you only click on Create, it will give you from February 1st to February 1st, where there's no activity. Now we're going to just modify the time. So modify this report and make sure that you choose a bigger interval in time. You can now find a little bit more information. Here you have how many shovels has been bought from which company. Therefore, from PCA Corporation, they bought 10 shovels at $10, which is a total cost of $100, and from each of the companies. You can also create overall reports, which we'll look into more details later on. At the top here, overall reports will include your balance sheet and your income statement. So let's take a look at the financials here. The balance sheet, the income statement, the trial balance, the statement of cash flow, the general ledger, and a lot of information. In this course, we're going to focus on the balance sheet and income statement as well as the general ledger. So here we can take a look at the balance sheet. Remember, it's in one point in time. So let's click on it. And therefore it provides you the state of the company in this point in time, which is February 1st. You have current assets, total assets, liabilities, and equity. And remember that liabilities plus equity should be equal to total assets. You can also generate an income statement. Remember that an income statement is a lapse of time. It's not one point in time, but a portion of time. So therefore, February 1st, I will check up until February 15th, and I'll click OK. This therefore gives me a range of the revenues. Revenues is all of the sales every dollar that you're receiving from customers. And then you will deduct all the expenses, everything that was used, all the amount of money that was used to create your products in order to sell it to the customer. At the end, if you take the revenues minus the expenses, you will have total income. In other words, if it costs you more than to sell, if it costs you $5 to create a cup of coffee and you sell your cup of coffee for $4, you would therefore have negative income, hence negative profits. The reason why it's net income is because we haven't taken into account taxes yet. So that means this company has earned $2,797, then they have to deduct their taxes. This was an overview of the vendors. We will be going through it in more details, but at least now you know where to click and to navigate. Let's talk about challenge number 2. In the next session, you will be given a task. In challenge number 2, it will not be a research time, but you will be limited to 3 hours. The moment you click Start Challenge, the countdown will start. Therefore, make sure to understand your material. Everything that we have gone through, practice it and make sure to know where the information is. In the body art case, I will be giving you information to verify, to modify, as well as to add. This is it for this lesson. Make sure to review and practice. Have some fun with Sage 50. It's a very interesting software. Have a great week.